for taking time out of your evening on a Wednesday, the Wednesday before 8-week classes close. I'm right there with you. So I want to thank you for taking your time. I know we have different groups of people here. We have people who are faculty participants for the Culturally Responsive Pedagogy Practices Grant. That is the organization or effort that's put together this event tonight. So I want to welcome you all. We've got our faculty success coaches from the grant in the house. So shout out to you. And then we also opened this event to the entire campus. So we've got faculty who are not necessarily part of the grant. Maybe you just saw it and thought it would be interesting and got interested. But guess what? We have trapped you here to try to convince you to participate in the grant. So this is about hearing student voices. It's also about motivating faculty to really get involved and get active. So if you're not part of it, we are hoping that you're going to join us. Jennifer, have you started recording? Okay, perfect.
Yes, ma'am. And I also put the closed captions.
Awesome. That is my partner in crime. So really quickly, I am one of the co-faculty leaders. What are we? Co-faculty? What are we? Whatever.
Faculty leads.
Co-faculty leads for the Culturally Relevant Pedagogy Practices Grant. And I will allow the other co-faculty to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer Ortiz. I'm with the at the English department, and this is our second year running the grant. So welcome. We're glad you're here.
Yes. And then we have a chat monitor. It's one of our faculty success coaches, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi, everybody. I'm Terry McCaskill. I'm the faculty success coach for the business division, and happy to answer your questions tonight.
Awesome. Thank you, Terry. And then we have our very distinguished panel, okay, of students who are here to share their experiences. So we've got 5 current West Los Angeles students who represent diverse experiences here as Black students here at our campus. And so I'd like to offer them the opportunity to quickly introduce themselves one at a time, and I'm just going to pick random. Let's start with Bob.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. My name is Bob Lewis. My major is law, public policy, and society. And my plan and goal is to transfer to the Luskin School of Public Affairs at UCLA.
Awesome. Thank you, Bob. Next up, let's have Kyle introduce themselves.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kyle Maddox. I'm a double major, psychology, sociology. I will be transferring to Stanford. So.
Awesome. Claiming it. Okay, claiming it. Bernard, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, Bernard. Yeah, can you hear my name? Very much at UCLA. I'm very much at West LA right now, in between my ceramics class. But my major is business economics, and my plan is to get my AAT to go to UCLA or USC.
Awesome. All right, Tangi, how about you next?
Hi, everyone. My name is Tangela Sanders, and I am a psychology major, and my goal is to transfer to UCLA.
Hi, Professor Carter. Students getting shout outs in the chat. We love to see it. And then lastly, we have Tamika.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tamika Johnson. I am a psychology major, and my goal is to transfer to a 4-year college. I don't know which one yet because I don't know if I'm moving back to Atlanta or staying in California.
All right. And so thank you. Big shout out to our students who are here today to lend their expertise and experience to us. And I keep trying to do the spotlight thing, but I keep spotlighting myself, which I'm sure everybody don't just want to look at me the whole time.
If you make me co-host, Tiffany, I could help you spotlight.
Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you. All right. And on that note, I want to go over the format really quickly. So this is really a space and a place for us all to learn and listen, right, to our faculty, to our students who are here to share their experience with us. We have a series of questions that we prepared for them to answer. They will be asked the questions one at a time. I'll post them in the chat so you can see them as well. And we'll allow which students want to answer which questions to do so. We're setting aside about 15 minutes at the end for faculty questions. So if you have questions that pop up throughout the discussion, go ahead and post those in the chat. And Terry is going to collect those. And then when it comes time for the faculty question portion, Terry is going to provide us with those questions. So if you have questions that pop up as it's going, pop them in the chat. Terry is going to collect those, so we have those, and then we'll get to those towards the end. All right, so if everybody can make sure that they're muted so we don't have any interruption, I am going to pass it along to our moderator for this evening, Jennifer Ortiz.
So we want to jump right in so we don't lose any more time. And the first question for our panelists is, tell us what's worked for you, what's worked well for you in your classes, and specifically, what helped you be successful?
I could go first. My name is Bernard, and I wrote this down. One of the things that worked well for me was in-person classes. I like to pay attention to the teachers in class and just the whole vibe of being in school. I'd say also the no-cost textbooks is really cool, and having everything online so that you can just access that and there's no extra cost to the class. I like the daytime schedule, but obviously I like the evening schedule for my ceramics. And I also like it when the teachers have access to extra resources like scholarships or opportunities for us to better ourselves. I think those things helped me be successful in and off class. So it made me feel more welcomed and invited and like appreciated in class.
Thank you, Bernard.
Well, I can go next. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kyle. You can go ahead.
No, I was saying, go ahead, Tangie. I see you.
Okay. One of the things that helped me be successful last year, I had the opportunity to be a part of the Puente Club, and what worked really well for us was being a part of like a group, or like what they call familias inside of our classroom. So we kind of like had like more like a family type unit. We were actually assigned these units at first, but then it did really become like a family. So having like the support and like of other people, so it's not like you're in it alone. We addressed a lot of the imposter syndrome and things like that. So that actually helped me a lot, and also helped the other people that I became connected with.
Okay, I'll go. Good evening, everyone, again. What really helps me succeed at West is shout out to all my professors that's in here. I seen them pop in there. Shout out to Dr. S. Shout out to Dr. Lee, and shout out to you, Professor L, as well. Y'all always just let me come to y'all openly and ask questions. Like, I get so much support from y'all. Honestly, that's the only reason I'm passing. I wouldn't be passing these classes without y'all. Definitely just as me taking as long of a break from school as I did and just trying to jump back into it. I really do appreciate you guys. I appreciate the rest of the faculty at West. Just it's so much support at West that I didn't receive at other schools or other colleges that I tried to go to. The help wasn't there, the love, the support wasn't there, just the drive to help the student wasn't there. So just by you guys being open and straightforward and just allowing us as students to just come to you, question you, just pick your brain, no matter how remedial it may sound, because I know y'all get some of the wildest questions from me. I know I'm not the easiest one to deal with, but I give y'all 100%, and I appreciate y'all so much. That's what helps me.
Hi, I'm Tamika. Like Bernard said, the in-person classes really helped me because I'm in-person learner. I can't do the
Yeah.
online classes. In person is much better for me. Thus far, I have had some great professors like Jennifer, who really look out for the students, who really want our best. So that's really helpful when you guys go the extra mile to help us. I'm also a veteran student, and I have to give a nice shout out to the veteran office because Miss Hawkins has helped me a lot. My daughter's also a student here, and she's helped both of us. They give us things like gift cards for the students, I mean for the store, books and things like that. So that has really helped me out with being a veteran student.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. We have another question. Have you felt encouraged by your instructors at West LA to succeed in your classes? If so, how did it make you feel that way? If not, does it matter?
I guess I'll start. I definitely I felt encouraged just to touch back on that first question, and Ms. Ortiz has definitely helped me in writing. I'm glad I took this class in person and not online, and just the subject matter she has given us to write, you know, the pedagogies and Paulo Freire and bell hooks, it's really sparked some thought in me. So I'm really appreciative of that, and I think those type of topics really help Black students thrive and open up their mind to express themselves and help in their writing. So yeah.
I would like to piggyback off of what Bob said because I'm in the class with Bob, and I even told Professor Ortiz this, that I'm not a good writer, and she was like, "Well, I'm going to make you prove that." And she has been encouraging us. The topics that she give us helps us a lot because we've been writing a lot about things that are going on, the current social environment. So and her really taking the time to really talk to us step by step. I didn't think I could do as good as in writing as I'm doing in her class. So I give all of that credit to her. So professors like her are really helping us in a big way.
Major shout out to Dr. S again, because I wouldn't even be in the honors program if it wasn't for her. Like, I was just like filling stuff out during the promise program in early August, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna come. Like, all right, I'm here now. And it was really Dr. S who was just like, it's not hard. It's just more in depth. Like, it's not hard. And I was going into it like, oh, it's hard. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. Like, I don't want to like flunk out and fail and not be able to qualify for this or that. And she was like, no, that's not the case at all. She was like, you got this. We're just going in depth about stuff. So like, just being able to attend her class, it's like her class prepared me for Dr. Lee class. Dr. Lee class prepared me for Professor L's class. And like all those classes just correlate together, and they just literally is like one big circle. So definitely my first semester here, it's like all of my classes I almost feel the same. So like my grade kind of resembles that in all the classes. I've kind of got like a similar grade in every class. So it's just like, you know, without that push right there, without that motivation, like I would have not been an honor student. I would have took some mediocre classes like economics or something, like a lot of other people I know or whatever. Like I'm not trying to diss nobody. I'm just saying, like, y'all know how it is out there. So, you know, it's just like I would have just took something else, or I probably would have tried to take math 227 already and would have dropped it like some of my old colleagues and friends. So I just appreciate that those explanations, the sit downs, the talks, the office hours from all of you, and that extra drive behind me for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself for real. Now I believe. So we go to Stanford from here.
I love I'm just a quick kind of things that I'm hearing. I'm hearing building a sense of belonging in our classrooms. I'm hearing free resources, access to materials, free access to materials online. I'm also hearing just-in-time remediation, right? Kind of like that step-by-step guidance, which is a very specific teaching strategy that, you know, we all might be very familiar with by now. I'm also hearing office hours. I'm hearing in-person classes. I'm hearing flexibility, kindness, and empathy, encouraging words. I'm hearing small learning communities. This idea of, familia or closeness, also with the honors program. So these are all things that our students are telling us, like, hey, y'all, this works, right? So thank you all for giving faculty that insight. Okay. Are there any circumstances outside of the classroom that impact your ability to be a successful student? Do you feel that faculty at West LA have been sensitive to those circumstances?
Me personally, I'm gonna say no, but I have noticed other students at West that are going through some difficult times right now, and the help is there for them. The resources are there for them. Um, a lot of West offers a lot, and I don't feel like all the students really take advantage of what you really can at West. Like definitely we here at BSU, so definitely like my younger black students, my young generation out there. I see them hanging around, so I try to be the negotiator in between the two, and I try to lead them in all the events, every meeting. Like I try to attend. It doesn't matter what it's for. I try to bring them in and reel them in, whether it's like free coffee and donuts or not. I try to like, hey, come sit down and listen to this. You need to hear this, or this is gonna help you get here. This is gonna help you do this. So like I've been trying to bring people into the honors program. I've been trying to bring people like I walk people up to the BSU office, even though I kind of never went in. Um, I still have my ASO application like in my notebook right there that I also never turned in, but I still have it. So like far as that, like a lot of people they like EOPS. Let me give a shout out to EOPS because EOPS helps. I have personally two friends right now that like are going through it at home. They just got kicked out their house. They don't have nowhere to go and they don't have any food. So by them being able to come on the West, use the EOPS voucher and get stuff from the bookstore, from Paul's, that's like a major help from them. And like I see them, they load their backpacks up. I'm not gonna say what I do to help them because then that's like violation of contract, So, but they load their backpacks up. They don't steal. They pay for it, of course, ID, but they like that's the only way that they eat. And I believe that like other schools don't really have that program. I can't speak. I don't know if they do or not, but EOPS and like the Welcome Center and like the Promise program is like a huge, huge help for those people that are really, really, really going through it. Like I wouldn't be on this Zoom call if it wasn't for Promise program because I wouldn't have a laptop. And I honestly wouldn't have bought one with my financial aid money. I'm just going to sit just throwing that out there. It wasn't happening. So.
Okay. I want to also answer that question. I definitely have some circumstances outside the classroom that impact my ability to succeed. I am actually recently divorced, and so I'm like a new single parent with my 4 kids. And so like last year when I started last year, that's when everything was kind of like going on. Now I did have like all of my professors, even the ones that I have this year, are really excellent. They're very sensitive to that or whatever, like understanding and like always offering flexibilities. Like even right now, I have my grandfather who is dealing with Alzheimer's and stuff. They've always been really sensitive, but I'm not really 100% sure that there are things at West LA that were able to like help me specifically, like as a single parent or anything like that. So I think around the time where I was kind of going through some really specific things, there really wasn't much resource for someone in my particular place, if that makes any sense.
So as we talked to our student panelists before everybody jumped on, and we explained to them the purpose of this grant, the intention behind it. And we talked to them about how our goal with this grant and with everybody that's here and participating is to close equity gaps for Black students specifically. So we have a question, and we'd like to hear from our panelists. And this is the question. Sorry. Yes. Do you feel seen and represented as a Black student in your classes? What difference does this make for you?
I could go first. Yes, I do feel seen and represented. There's a lot of people who look like me. The professors are responsive. I think the school is inclusive. And just to piggyback off what Tanji said, I think we all probably need more direction to some of the resources that are available, like maybe for childcare or legal help or mental health. And if they're there, which I know some of them are, like maybe it's something that we need to have in the admission records when we come in, that we're given a list and that someone goes over all these things that are available. Because giving EOPS and PAUSE, I know some people who've got it their second, third semester in, when it would have helped them if they got it their first semester, you know? So my whole thing is I do feel seen and represented because like Kyle said, these things are there for us. But it's just the connection of it. But I think overall, yeah, I do feel seen and represented.
Yes, I also feel seen and represented too. By the assignments that the teachers give us. We've given assignments about people of color and like issues that deal with Black people. We have a number of Black students in our class, and I've had a number of Black professors since I've been here also. So, yeah. And staff, a lot of the staff is Black, so yes.
I actually have a difference in opinion. I would say that I don't feel that seen or represented in the campus. And I say that because, again, like I was explained, I had the opportunity to be a part of the Puente Club, and it is for you know, Blacks and Hispanics and Afro Latinos, and everyone comes together. And though I did feel included, like I never felt like excluded, and it was a family, I was a part of it. But I do feel like what was missing was more of a Black experience, not just within within Puente, but also within the school, because they had such a unique and really fine-tuned way to be able to connect with their students. Like, for instance, one of the things that they had was like they always considered or what the mindset of the students were. So they were saying, you know what, the Hispanic in the Hispanic community, most of the people are very prideful, so they don't like to ask for help. And so because of that, we're going to tailor our class like this. So we're not really giving you the option to like ask for help. We're just going to offer it to you because we know you're not going to ask anyway. And I would say like I would have loved that for like our community, like in our community where maybe we have an issue with shame and not wanting to ask, you know, or pride and not wanting to ask, and we're going to offer it anyway. So a lot of times a part of our curriculum kind of like placed us in a situation where it would allow us to be comfortable, to be able to seek out different resources on our own, and also be offered resources without limit. You know, we were like, you know, there was a lot of resources that came our way, and it was also a part of the curriculum. Like I had like the best professor Professor Tejada, and every time before class, a part of the curriculum, like either a couple of minutes before class, a couple of minutes after class, she would actually verbally do the announcement, like, hey, you guys, they are having this today. I would love to see you guys doing this, or maybe an extra credit, you guys go down there and we're going to do this. Or there were even times where when they were having like the transfer or, you know, the schools were coming to UCLA to transfer, we walked down there as a class. And I thought that was huge. And it was so much of that that was tailored to the mindset and understanding, a deep understanding of the actual culture, that it was easier to grasp. So even though I wasn't seen, but I was included, you know? So I always felt really good. I was always a lot more informed than my other friends that were actually at West. And so they were actually coming to me for information. I'm like, did you guys know this? They never knew anything, but I always knew everything that was getting ready to happen because of my teacher or because of, you know, other people in the program that were telling me different things. So I would say that, like, I don't feel like it was that much. I probably wouldn't have felt that way had I not been a part of Puente, but because of that, I definitely saw how, the dichotomy between the Black experience and what we were being offered just as Black people opposed to that.
And this actually transitions to the next question really well. Are there, what hasn't worked? What hasn't worked well for you in your classes? Have you ever felt like race was a factor in those experiences?
I'll answer that one. I wish I just took more classes in person. The online, it's in the future, it's not going to work for me. I think in-person classes is better. Yeah, I haven't seen any racial thing towards me or towards anyone. The faculty's been welcoming, and I see diversity in the faculty. So, yeah, everything has been okay with me.
I haven't noticed that either. I sit in front all my classes. I'm like right there in your face. So boom, you're gonna notice me whether you want to or not. Because I'm here to learn, and I feel like the distractions are in the back of the class. Like no smut to those that sit in the back, but I need to be up front paying attention. Like I can't afford to sit in the back. So all my professors know I'm like right up front. So if you didn't know who I was, you knew who I was by like that second week, maybe for sure by the third week. Like, hey, Kyle's here. Like no questions, no doubt. Sit in the same seat right up front, and I haven't seen any racial segregation or separation or nothing of that sort anywhere on campus. Honestly, everybody's so welcoming. Definitely like being in Culver City, and I'm not a big fan of Culver City. But coming to West is like opened me up a little bit more. It's made me actually like it. So I've started spending more time in Culver. I've started going to the Chick-fil-A and the Del Taco. It was more than just going to the Westfield Mall and trying to, do a little bit of shopping. Like that was my extent of Culver right there. Maybe the post office, but now I've been doing a little bit more and just trying to be more involved with the community around West because that's home base. That's, go Wildcats. I'm a Wildcat. But I love how all the faculty just embraces me and anyone that I bring, it doesn't matter who they are, everybody's embraced by everyone that I've ever introduced anybody to. And I love it. I'm so appreciative. And I know they appreciate it too.
Okay, I'm gonna ask the next question. So this one's important. So I would love to hear it from as many of you as possible. Black students have lower rates of success than other racial groups at West LA College. Can you think of reasons for this?
I'll kick this one off. I'm gonna speak from the heart. I didn't write this down. I didn't rehearse this. And it comes from personal experiences. You have to want to succeed. You can't just not succeed without wanting to put that work in or having that drive or that fire up under you and thinking that, oh, you're just gonna like just tag along or slip and slide and you're gonna make it. So I see a lot of youngsters, definitely when I was catching a bus every day, and I used to catch them at the Culver City bus terminal down there by the mall. And I would talk to them and, hey, what classes you taking? And I found out a lot of people have one class. And I'm like, you waste all your time to come up here for just one class? And I got people to start taking more classes and tell them about the programs that I was involved in. And people didn't know. They didn't know that they could get free bus passes. Like I knew because I was lucky enough to be a part of the Promise program, but a lot of people didn't know. So I started just taking them into the Welcome Center and be like, hey, okay, you have to be a full-time student. Oh man, you're not a full-time student. Let's have some classes. Like go in there, sit down, put something under your belt, get these classes, you get a bus pass. All right, from there, I'm going to walk you personally to the EOPS office. I'm going to get you enrolled in there, and everybody in there is helpful. So a lot of the times I feel like the Black students don't succeed because they just simply don't want to. Like I used to be one of those back in 2010 or even prior to that, like 2008. If you don't know my background, I was incarcerated for numerous years. I did 10 years in prison. Sat there just stuck because I used to be one of those. And I didn't know about all of these programs as well. When I first tried to go to college, all I knew was financial aid. Nobody told me about grants. Nobody told me about scholarships. Nobody told me about internships. I had no clue whatsoever. So I was just attending school to get the financial aid. And this was many, many years ago. So I could buy like an $800 Honda. That's all I knew. Hondas used to be cheap back in the day, if y'all remember. But I used to be one of those. I didn't want to succeed. I didn't want to graduate. I didn't want to transfer. I didn't want to go to a university. And that's what I'm seeing on campus. So I try to do my part as to help them overcome that. But you have to want to do it yourself. I feel like if we had more peer-to-peer interactions, more peer-to-peer relations, more peer-to-peer activities, as to where people could group together and not necessarily, maybe not do your homework, but maybe do your homework, because a lot of people need help. People not graduating because they don't know what to do. It's like you don't have that extra help at home, or you literally just scared to say, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. A lot of people are not bold like me to come up to Professor L or Dr. Lee or Dr. S and be like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I cannot even begin to tell you what an APA format is. Dr. Lee, I know you remember me asking you that. Like, I don't know what this is. When Dr. S for her essays, when we got to the essay, I actually knew what that was in a sense. So I know how to do my citations. I knew how to do this. English class like prepared me for that, but I asked those questions. So they have to want to literally succeed. If you don't want to succeed, you're not gonna make it. If you gave us more of a opportunity to connect with each other with minimal faculty involvement, I feel like that would be more successful, because then we could talk amongst each other. Um, I can do what I can. So like I know like Little Caesars is cheap. You could grab some $5 pizzas or whatever not, and we could like sit in the classroom once a week and go from there, a little Bluetooth speaker, and make people feel more welcome, get people more involved. Then they'll start to come. Of course, everybody's going to come for the free food at first, but then people are going to start to pay attention. They're going to start to see the benefits and see the good that's actually coming out of this. And people are going to start to take their education more serious.
Yeah, definitely that peer-to-peer, that was a lot to to kind of go through. But another thing that I keep thinking about is just how important that peer-to-peer is, because there's already like a sense of trust and commonality. And sometimes it's easier to relate to someone that is directly experiencing the same things that you are. For example, being a student and having to like decode and demystify the process. So thank you for sharing that. Any of the other panelists want to join in?
I would like to add just that kind of in agreement with Kyle about the Black students being able to have like a structured support, when they're coming to college, because some people may really actually want to succeed and they just have no idea how. Some people don't even have the capacity to be able to ask the questions. Like, I didn't even know that I needed to ask that, So I think that if there was more representation and support, and the support was structured in a way that would not only entice or garner attention, but also actually set a focus toward what resources that they have and what the opportunities actually are. Because a lot of times people are coming to college, they're like, I'm going to college because I know I'm supposed to go, but I have no idea what I'm doing, and that's usually it. Whether people are coming to start their lives over, or if they're coming to begin their lives or begin a career. So I believe that it should be like more of a focus on structure for Black students.
Kind of like be mainstream or institutionalized, kind of like support. Maybe like even like once you identify as a Black student, then do like specifically like an onboarding for Black students or something like that. That's a great idea. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I wanted to add, just to pick off all that, everything that Kyle said is true. And what I'd written down before, because I'd seen the questions, was like there's generational trauma or there's great successes and where people are coming from with family. And in the event that somebody needs help, like mental health and whatnot, do they know it's available? And another thing is people are coming in sometimes as first gen. So no one has the college experience. So the whole guidance of how this works sometimes is not there. Another thing is no insight in all the options of careers or things that are happening in real world. So something like sports science or data science that studies cultural patterns, or like Stanford has this degree of digital humanities. Now, the interesting thing is these are courses that I just realized because I want to look at all those universities, but they're really interesting degrees that impact our culture. And sometimes us guys coming in don't know that. You only know law, engineering, or maybe medicine, right? So then like another thing I wrote is all the options that are available for us while we're in school, like the EOPSs, the whatnot, the BSUs, that climate center. There's no that peer-to-peer or structured layout that can break down everything for someone who identifies like us. so that we know all our options and all the resources that are there, that then connects us to people like us, who then guide us like, yo, what are you going through? There's this that's available. And because that thing is not there, there's no tutor support, like Carla was saying, when people are struggling with school. So all these things just impact us not doing well. And then later on, you learn there was EOPS, or there was mental health, or there was childcare, or there was BSU, or there was A2 MEND, or the professors could have hooked you up with scholarships. Oh, there's this professor who lets you write for this, is this. So we learn late. So I think hopefully we can connect that early and then build on that, because there are resources and there is help, but it's just not connecting sometimes.
So we have to figure out a way to capture the student population early on, so
Yes.
that you're not finding out about the programs a semester or 2 semesters later, that they actually
Right,
exist,
right.
they are on campus, but there's a disconnect between the time that you show up to campus and when you finally discover, oh, wow, there's all these resources at West available that I didn't know about. And then I also heard the comment about being a first generation college student. You don't know what questions to answer. And sometimes it's like, well, maybe I should know these questions, but I don't know. So how do I even formulate? How do I even know what I'm entitled to? Right? How do I even know that, this idea of imposter syndrome? Do I belong here? Right? So all of this insight is so helpful. Thank you to the panelists. We have one last question before we jump into the faculty questions, which I'm looking at the chat right now and it's popping. So the last question that I'd like to hear from you is, what are 1 or 2 pieces of advice for faculty who want to increase the success rate for Black students in their courses?
Mine will be short. Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, just probably adding to the last question and bringing that in, just maybe some finding young successful mentors and speakers that can relate to young students. And because a lot of the younger generation, it's a lot of visuals, and they want finances quick and it's instant gratification nowadays. So I think bringing in young successful people that have went through college to show them like, hey, this could be you, that they can relate to, is one way also.
I have an idea as well. It was something I've been thinking about for a while, because especially in Professor Lenoir's class, it seems like the younger students have a lot to say. Everyone has a lot on their mind. And I was thinking like it would be really cool if there was like some type of discussion group where the Black students can talk about things that like they care about, or things that are going on within the Black community or the Black experience. One of the things that is missing out of our community is counseling. You know what I mean? And some people just need to talk about stuff. Now, I'm not talking about going like into like a deep therapeutic thing, because people need to go, get help on their own. But like there are some topics and discussions that might like help us. Like maybe if there was like a weekly or bi-weekly, monthly discussion type situation where people are going to come and we're going to talk about like stress, and we're going to talk about how to alleviate that, or talk about like relationships, or talk about how we think or how we respond, or talk about like, books that help people to do different things or whatever, thinking about things that can like help shift the mindset or things like that, to try to get people, to be, get the Black students to be more focused or more community based. And a lot of times you can get that community when people are able to talk about and see how much in common they have with one another. There was some students that were in one of my class, they were doing like a discussion, and then they were just talking about how they ended up like linking up to, actually it was Kyle, actually, I'm telling your business, Kyle. In our sociology class, there was like this really neat community that they came together, and they were talking about how they met and how that impacted them, and how one was able to encourage the other. But like when they first met, they didn't have any inclination of even wanting to talk to each other. And there was nothing that was like cementing, because I was explaining, we don't really we have a Black culture, but there's not like a whole lot strongly rooted to bring us together. Like we don't have all the same land or like we don't all have the same traditions about how we do things like other cultures. So we want to be able to create that. And sometimes we can do that by talking, finding out what we have in common with other people to kind of like bring us together, like with like discussion groups.
I agree with everything everyone is saying, and I think it's a real holistic approach is how I'd summarize it. Like, yeah, including it in your pedagogy, like, hey, the literature you use, maybe the relevance of it or the relation of it, let it touch on everyone else's culture. And also perhaps think in and out of the classroom, like know the organizations, know the resources and the availability, and bring it up for everyone to identify in the class and know that the professor cares, or at least is aware of it. And I think both those things can help everyone, because then it would reach every student who's in each one of those classes. And it's another healthy reminder that, hey, from when we joined this school, from the first time I walked to the admission office, I was told about everything, and I'm reminded by the teachers, and it is a cool place. I think those things would be cool if the professors and everyone else, had that in their classrooms.
Touching on that, there's always an empty classroom at West. I walk through the hallways quite often and frequently, so the rooms just be empty. It just be Casper in there, just just moving the chairs around in that thing. So out of all the available classrooms, I feel like one of those classrooms, even if it rotates, could just be dedicated to like this type of event, like to the mentorship, where like Bernard, Tangi, myself, and Bob, like I've seen you before, but not having really been able to get familiar with you. But it's like we could all just come in. Like I don't mind doing it. I'm on campus 4 days a week for majority of the day, and I don't even mind coming in on Friday. If I like for this type of thing, I would come in just so they have somewhere to go. And that's just whoever wants to come in. Like you don't even just have to be Black. Like I know a lot of people on campus. I didn't realize that until one of my colleague classmates actually brought it to my attention and said, a lot of people. I was like, oh man, no, I don't. And turns out, I guess I do. And unfortunately, I guess I have a big impact on campus in like a very unique way. They all seem to want to follow me aboard. So you can follow me to these classrooms where we can talk about like, stress. Like once a month may be like a little out of reach because by the time that builds up, like pressure bust pipes and like you never know when somebody's just at their edge and ready to crack or snap. So like I feel like maybe once a week would be more helpful where people just come in and just like decompress, detox, just calm down, chill. It could be earlier in the week, so that helps you later on in your week. It could be at the end of the week, so you get rid of what happened in the week already, and just let us do our thing. What our thing is I can't honestly say. Like it's not that I'm not the best of planner, but I feel like winging those type of situations, as long as you have like a set program, set schedule, then that's where it's at. But winging the rest of it, like who knows what needs to be talked about? It's literally like a day by day, week by week, case by case, and just allow us to just do what we do. Like you do have Black role models that are at West. Like I see them. Like I looked up to Bernard and Tangi. I was like, okay, look at these upstanding people right here. I was like, I want to be smart too. Like I don't want to be the dummy in class. So like I'm like Bernard is very educated. I be leaning on him for answers
Thank you,
sometimes.
God.
I just want to know him, try to pick his brain all the time about just different things, just things unrelated to class. Like honestly, I ask him questions about the world because he's diverse. So he's well traveled. So I just want to know certain things, places that I've never been. Just like, hey, what's this like, man? Or what's that like? And I know other people come and they want to know the same type of thing. So we need that space just to like get everybody in and get everybody on board. And trust me, if they opened it up to us like that, they will come. Like people are gonna come because it's better than them just hanging out in the streets. It's better than you coming for your one morning class and then you back in your neighborhood by like 1:30 doing who knows what. Like, I mean, I kind of know what, but because a lot of people kind of live in my area, but then again, it's who knows what. Because like I'm busy, I'm occupied. Like I got a ton of homework to do tonight, so like people be calling me, my phone's going off. I'm like, I'll get to you around like 11 o'clock. I'll holler at y'all later. But it's like we need that space. We really need that space to just be there. Any classroom, it doesn't matter. It could be the SSB, the GC building, probably the TLC building, because that thing seems vacant all day, every day. you know. So just give us a
It almost,
let
it
us know.
All
almost,
right.
it almost sounds like it's something that needs to be like less formal and more peer-to-peer driven. So
Yeah, the
I don't,
structure is on us getting us together, the day, the formality, the whatnot. But like Kyle said, that's true. Like the topic can change week by week, month by month, whatever. Yeah.
so we wanted to make sure we leave some time because there are a lot of questions in the chat for you all. Faculty are ready to start picking your brain. So I'm gonna pass it to Terry and to Tiffany to bring up some of the questions and see if you guys can help us figure out some of the stuff that we posited in the chat.
Okay, yeah, so there were a few questions specific to your comments, Tangi. One of them being, what could have helped you during the time when you were really struggling at West that West didn't do?
Okay, so at that time, as I was like going through the divorce and I was like splitting up like my home, and so like childcare was one of the things. Also any other like resources as far as like any other like financial resources about like, you know, getting back on your feet or whatever. I remember I wasn't really actually expecting anything, but I remember talking to my professor and I was talking to a couple of other my friends, and it was like, doesn't your school have this, that, and the third, you know? And there were some specific things that they were saying, hey, you can do this, or maybe you can get like an advance on that, or whatever the situation was. And when I had gone to like ask the different things, even with the childcare and everything like that, it was like no one really had any information when I had gone. So I went to like the financial aid department. No one really was able to answer any questions there. I had gone to like other counseling departments, and no one really had any information, and or they no longer had them available because things had changed so much after the pandemic and things like that. So those were kind of the challenges that I was facing then.
Okay, thank you. And then another question following up with that is, did the CARE program for single parents through EOPS help you at all?
I wasn't informed about the CARE program. I have heard about EOPS. I'm actually now with EOPS, but I'm not sure if it's the same thing. But at the time, I was going to different like departments that people were, you know, sending me to, and I wasn't getting any information.
Okay, great, thank you. And this is one for the entire panel. Have there been any moments in your in-person classroom experiences that really stood out to you, like any particular lectures or group projects?
Yes. There was a lecture that stood out to me in English 101 with Professor Tejada, and that one was talking about the growth and the growth mindset, and the you know, having whether or not you had a fixed mindset. So going into beginning school, learning about failure or addressing a fear of failure and what that's like, and giving you tools to overcome that, and giving us tools to overcome imposter syndrome, really set the tone about how myself and a lot of other of my peers that were taking that class helped us out. You know, with the perfectionism or being afraid to like turn something in because like you don't feel like you're gonna get a good grade, or feeling like, oh my God, I hate math because I've always been, you know, horrible at math or whatever. And then being able to turn that around and then being able to change your perception about what success looks like, and not allowing failure to be an ending. So that really impacted me personally. And again, I feel like that's the best way to start anything off, is just addressing that.
Awesome.
For me, Professor Ortiz putting us on Paulo Freire and Pedagogy of the Oppressed was just mind sparking for me, and it really just opened up a whole nother avenue in the thought process. And yeah, I'm appreciative of that.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Professor L on this one. The way that you made us conform to them groups and literally just make us like turn the seats, go with everybody, like group up, and like that really helped us open up to one another as well. That was like amazing, because I feel like if you didn't do that, we would have kind of just like sat there And we would have just chit chatted with the couple people that we know or the couple people we were comfortable with. But like by you like putting us in those groups, or even Dr. Essa, how you went down row by row and counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and like made all the threes, the fives, the ones, and everybody grouped together. It's like now you have a chance to talk with people that you normally wouldn't talk with. And because of that, that like opened up the network even more for like your entire class. So both professors on that end really like kind of like forced us to be together and like come together and be united. And that was excellent. It was amazing. So now we just don't talk to the people that we just know. That now we know everyone. Now we actually know everyone in the class. We actually converse. We see each other in the hallways, at the bookstores, in the library, and it's more than just like a head nod or hey, what's up? It's like, oh hey, what you doing? You need help with your paper? You need help with your homework, or we got doing this. Yo, did you read this chapter in the book yet? So like what's going on? And like y'all set the foundation for that, for us to be able to like take off and run from there.
Okay, here's one other question. Do you think that taking classes in a block structure would help you? Do you need more clarification on that question? Elena.
Block as in.
Uh,
Well, I didn't want to use the word cohort. And here I'm thinking like, okay, so let's say, you know, there's requirements you have to fulfill, like English and like a poli-sci class. If they were blocked and like those two teachers talk to each other, would that help? Like, or let's say, for example, Jennifer and taught a class and Tiffany taught a class as a block, with like with kind of like the pedagogies that you have been talking about in mind, if that would help. And also to help with scheduling so that there's not overlap. You know?
Can add for Kyle and Bernard, this is like the honors classes that we offer. So Professor Lenoir's class is an honors class this semester. Kyle, you're in both of those classes. Bernard, I don't know if you've been able to take those classes together, but that's kind of a block, if you will.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I'm in the sociology class now, so I guess now I understand. Yeah, I think that would help, and just the guidance of it and knowing what it is that you're doing. And I think it ties to that thing of the cultural relevance and the pedagogy and being inclusive. So if you're in writing, include books of people who look like us. If you're in like anything like the way my sociology class, the teacher made us talk about heritage or other things, and you start to hear about communities. My communications class, I see my professor is here, he made us speak about ourselves and he asked us topics. So he makes you represent yourself, and he makes others in the class represent themselves. So my whole point is, if there's classes that are like that are blocks that can tie in, that would be cool. And if it double ties in with honors program and everything else, that would be cool, because then it's like educational goal, career goals, like all these things combined at once, plus be seen. I think that would be nice.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that great question. And that is going to be our last question that we're taking from the faculty. I want to respect everyone's time here. So let's go ahead. Let's give an electronic hand to our esteemed panelists today. I have so many notes, so many things that I wrote down. I think this was so powerful, so insightful. And this is the kind of work that we're doing in this grant. So Terry, if you could drop the flyer in the grant in the chat. We want to be student-led, right? And so now we have heard from the students, and now we are ready to dive into the second year of this grant. So if you are here and you have not joined the CRPP, the grant that helped organize this, that wants to be led by student voices, that is all about increasing Black student success, please drop your name, discipline, and email if you are interested in joining our efforts. All I want to know right now is who's coming with me, right? Like who's with us? So if you are interested, if you're not already involved in the grant and you want more information, you want to follow up, put your name, put your discipline, put your email in the chat, and we will follow up with you with more information about how you can be involved. So again, thank you to our panelists. Thank you so much for taking the time out, for sharing your experiences with us. I know we are all better for it. Thank you to the moderator who did a great job. Thank you to our chat monitor. And thank you to you, okay? All of you who showed up tonight and said, yes, I am here, right, to do what I can to increase Black student success here at West. So again, if you're not already involved in the grant and you'd like to be a part of it, please drop your name, your discipline, your email, and we will follow up with you. All right. Other than that, everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you all again for being here. And we look forward to you at our next event because you'll be in it because you'll be a faculty participant. All right. So we'll see you at the next one. Bye, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Thank you, panelists. We appreciate you guys.
Thanks. Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
I don't know how to work Zoom, so I'm trying to do it.
Guys, I know. I'm like, where's the exit button?
Get out of here. Leave.
Okay.
Leave. Kyle, get out of here before I kick you out.
You could have kicked me. All right, bye.
I'm gonna have to kick. All right, bye. Okay. Round of applause, y'all. I think that went really well. Thank you so much, Terry. It was so helpful
Oh my
to not
God.
have
Of
to
course.
monitor the chat and think
Yeah,
about the
no problem.
chat. And
Yeah.
that was so wonderful. Thank you. And Jennifer, you did an amazing job as the moderator. Thank you so
Yes.
much. I think we had a great turnout.
We had a way bigger turnout than
Yeah.
last time. Absolutely, like double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good turnout. And people were popping in the
Awesome.
chat. I'll go through and collect the people who left their contact information, and then I'll follow up with them, like I said, with the info session so they can learn more information, and then we'll start bugging them about joining.
Okay, so you'll do that. I got 5 of them at the end, but I don't know if there are other.
Yeah, if you're
I
listen,
have
if you
5.
started,
Yep.
let me not double time. So
I sure did. Yeah.
if
I
you could
tried
do
to
that and then just email it to me,
I certainly will do it right now.
that would be great. Okay, perfect.
Thank you, ladies. This was wonderful. Have a
Bye,
great
Terry.
evening.
Thank you for your
Thank
help.
you, Terry.
No problem. You're very welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, we stopped now. Sorry.